Very special day today. We're attending an event called Have a Go Day. Okay? Have a Go Day, it's hosted by Parasport NB. And what they're doing today is they're going to be showcasing a couple wheelchair sports, wheelchair basketball and wheelchair rugby this afternoon. So we're going to head on into the gymnasium and check out these sports and maybe talk to a few athletes, up and coming athletes, and get their scoop. So first I'll show you the Parasport NB van. You can kind of see that behind me. So I'm going to go around and show you the van. It's very, very nice. Get some good representation there. Got a pair ice hockey, wheelchair basketball, and I believe that's goalball. Try the best here I can with the. There's the trailer they have for all their equipment. We got wheelchair rugby, racing, and hand cycling. That is awesome. Very nice. Very nice. Chairs here. Some rugby chairs. Another banner. Hey, I know those guys. That's Jacob LeBlanc, pair ice hockey. Bernard Lapointe, badminton. And Dave Dirtbag Durapo.
Classification is a limitation in 3 out of your 4 limbs. So a lot of quadriplegics play wheelchair rugby, and the lower class players would have a defensive chair. They wouldn't have much trunk function to really generate speed, so their job is to like pick players so the offensive players can go and score. So Chelsea is in an offensive chair. So generally a person would have from class 0.5 to a 1.5 would be in this type of chair. And then anybody that would be in 2 to a 3.5 would be in an offensive chair. Wheelchair rugby is...
What exactly is those numbers?
Those numbers, they mean basically your level of function.
Okay.
So a 3.5 player would have some dexterity within their hands. They could have some trunk function. A double amputee with limited hand function would be a 3.5, and then they would just progressively go. So for most spinal cord injuries who are quadriplegics, the common misconception is a quadriplegic can't use their arm to push. So they can. What usually happens is the dexterity within their hands is less functioning than your hands. So the less function in the hands that you have, so some may not have a bicep or a tricep or hand function. Some will use this pushing function just because their fingers don't work at all. And then some push like this. So you can have a total of 8 points on a court for wheelchair rugby at one time. So it's a mix of 0.5 players to a 3.5 players. And there are 4 players on at a time. So basically, it is also a fun fact that wheelchair rugby is a heritage sport for Canada. It was developed in a rehab center by Duncan Campbell, and it was first introduced into the Paralympics in the year 2000. In 2006, it was a showcase sport, and then it made developed in 1977, so a lot of fun dates for everybody. The original name of wheelchair rugby was called murderball, because literally the purpose of everything was to try to murder your opponents. They originally played in their day chairs before the rugby chair was created. So you had a lot of people falling out of chairs, nobody was strapped in. And the game is played with a volleyball style ball as opposed to a basketball. Or like a rugby ball if you think about it. So today for wheelchair rugby, what we're going to do, we'll do just a little bit of pushing. The fun part of rugby is crashing and banging and literally being a full bumper car with your chair. And then we'll do a little scrimmage and you guys are going to be ready for that. So because this is a very different push than your ball chair that you were all just in, you'll notice you're sitting a lot lower. Again, it's because most people who play this sport have no trunk function, so they're like strapped in directly to the chair. So so now, Simon, you go in the middle.
Adam?
Now, me and Adam are not strapped in, so just so you know, everybody else is strapped in.
Whoa!
So it's super loud, but you're completely protected by your chair, right? So you can
Don't let your feet dangle out.
don't let your feet dangle out.
Ready.
Cover yourself. Come right back out, oh my God. Hey!
Try to get in this thing. It's sucked right into there. I don't know if I can get my legs in. Try. Oh yeah. Hang in there. Oh, this feels good on the back actually. It's
That's right.
oh, it's a good stretch.
So I think you're sitting on the belt.
Yeah. Get fucking in here. What's the other part? Yeah, I really do, didn't I? There we go. Ah. See, I skip all the practice stuff. I just go right for the game.
Yeah, a lot of that was winging
Yeah.
it. You're gonna need these for sure.
Yep. Here I go. We're playing the game right now. Are you allowed to speak to the other?
Oh! There it is. Yeah, you can't do that. But you can push with your chair. You can push with your chair, not with your hands. I feel like Adam's just like looking for a hit. Oh, nice try, nice try.
That's right. It's not my fingertips.
Uh, 4-3. I'll start to keep score now. 4-2. Whoops. Is that 5-2? 5-2? Whoop! Shane has no mercy. I love it. Oh dear. Yeah, you probably. Oh, we have it. I took it too.
I put my brakes on my everyday chair. I just don't know, because I'm way low here. In this rugby chair, you can see, I think I'm in like a lower class player chair, from what Sally was saying, that you have this kicker here. So if I was a low class player, I guess it goes from 1 to 3. You can quote me on that, but if I was a low class player at the 1, I guess my role would be to provide picks and blocks and all that kind of stuff to allow some offensive space for my team to score. So yeah, so I buckled in here. Buckled in the same as wheelchair basketball. Sit really deep in here, which is kind of comfortable actually. And so you're using I'm using all shoulders and arms, very little. I can use torso, my core to move the chair just a little bit, but not as much as I can when I'm playing wheelchair basketball. But it's a lot more effort to move these things. These things, you can see the plates metal to them, or welded, the plates welded, solid wheels to protect your spokes. And it's just a very rugged, heavy chair. And you probably seen some good crunches there, and nobody got hurt. They absorbed the crush really well. And man, it's fun. It's fun. Okay, let me try to get out of here. Take this off first. Put that right there. Now, this is going to be interesting. Nope. See you later. Okay, I keep sliding back in, so I'll take my feet out first. Now ground me. There's no brakes on these wheelchairs, the rugby chairs either, so. Okay, so now I got up here. I can balance myself a bit here. All right. going to grab the frame, I guess, and then just try to prop myself over. There we go. Done. Done, like dinner. Yeah, I can see how it's plated in here as well. That's actually a hard plastic in there, but then you get your metal. I'm assuming it's aluminum, maybe? No, it wouldn't be that. I'm not sure what it is. Pretty intense chair. Awesome. The sweat I got going on.
I'm Sally Hutt, and I'm the Executive Director with Parasport New Brunswick. Parasport New Brunswick is an organization that is the provincial sport organization for wheelchair basketball and wheelchair rugby. We're also the umbrella organization for all Paralympic sport development in the province. So when we look at other sports that, like for example, like para ice hockey, we work with Hockey New Brunswick and local minor associations to try and help grow a human resource capacity, grant submission capacity, and recruitment capacity within those different able-bodied PSOs.
Yeah. So you have wheelchair basketball in there. Would there be, I guess, like badminton, everything really? Like,
Oh yeah.
where's
so
here in the province? Yeah.
Yeah, Canada has an integrated parasport system. So basically, like every national sport organization, for example, Hockey Canada, para ice hockey falls underneath that umbrella.
Yeah.
For para athletics falls under Athletics Canada. But for wheelchair basketball and wheelchair rugby, they're the two of the four non-integrated sports. So that's why we have our own NSO and our own PSO for that. Yeah, it's a really safe opportunity for folks. And, you know, like you asked Simon about, you know, having municipalities and different, we'll even do them for, you know, businesses and team bonding activities. And we've done a lot with the base, trying to get some more soldiers out. And just kind of getting out and, one, making people aware, but also linking them to programs. That's the really important part.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes a little bit of hand-holding to get the person from their rehab to home to learning life to then realizing, you know, life has so many active opportunities, and then we try to help encourage that as much as possible.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you have the same contacts that Simon had just said, right? Like, yeah, the website and Facebook. Did he mention Facebook? I can't remember.
Facebook, yeah, all of our handles were Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and it's at Parasport NB.
Okay.
But yeah, always reach out to us. Reach out on Facebook. Reach out on email, Instagram, however.
Oh, that's good. All right, so Chelsea.
Yes.
Yeah, I just met you today.
Yes.
Officially.
You did.
I don't know if we, corresponded through email or my wife through, my wife works at Stan Cassidy.
I do. Yeah. And actually, we chatted when somebody was actually talking about just accessible trails from around here, and I've been following your YouTube channel, so I was like, I know a person that knows good trails around here, so it's definitely a good resource that I actually use your channel a lot.
Yeah, awesome.
With some of our clients.
Awesome. So you, what do you do at the Stan Cassidy?
So I'm a recreation therapist at Stan Cassidy. I work with inpatient adults. So Stan Cassidy is a neuro rehab facility for the province of New Brunswick. So I'm working with people with spinal cord injury, strokes, brain injury, MS, any complex neurological diagnosis, really. Yeah. And so I moved here to Fredericton about 2 years ago, and I'm from Montreal, and I am loving it.
Awesome.
So as a recreation therapist, my role really is using leisure and recreation in two ways. So one way is using it as a clinical tool to help with people for their specific rehab goals. Because oftentimes we find if we engage in something that's really enjoyable for us, we forget it's work. We forget it's actual rehab, and that's what life should be all about.
That's right, yeah.
And then hopefully that can pursue into having just a good quality of life. And oftentimes, I always tell my clients, rec therapy can be anything. It could be so different. Somebody could say, this is my escape, because it could just be a really challenging time for somebody's life, and sometimes just that medical shenanigans can just be too much. So having that outlet for getting yourself in that zone, being in the flow is really important, and then you get more engaged in therapies. And the other side, you know, some people just really want to discover what's out there, and you know, parasport is just a sweet way to kind of, that's a just great piece to a good quality of life. So this is actually my first
Well, yeah, and it's great that you're out here doing this, and then you're gonna take that back to the center.
Exactly.
And you're just gonna be telling everybody about it.
I gotta
Right?
know, I
What's
gotta know
that?
what
Yeah.
I'm talking about, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, you gotta
this
go
is
first.
sweet.
Yeah, first hand. Oops.
Yeah.
And yeah, no.
It's
Yeah.
great because I think, well, we already have a good partnership and like good collaboration, and I think, you know, there's such strength in the community here in New Brunswick, and I think the more we can collaborate, the more we can kind of show those resources, see what's out there, and you just learn by doing, right? So I think the more we can kind of work together, and then just word of mouth, just, you know, through your YouTube channel and through like social media. I'm all about social media. I created my own little advocacy page for rec therapy.
Oh, good.
Connect Through Leisure, and I just use that overall for like just general education on recreational therapy. But I think a lot of people have no idea about all these sports that exist, right? Like we get young guys, young girls that are like, well, I used to play, you know, standing basketball. I used to play standing volleyball, and it's like, well, I can't anymore.
I got 1 minute. No,
Awesome.
so yeah.
Yeah, so with actually Stancasti, we do have our Facebook page of Recreation Therapy Stancasti.
Okay.
Just as a connection with people after they get discharged, just to kind of share what's going on in the community.
Awesome,
So
yeah.
that's always a good contact for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's nice meeting you too, and we'll be seeing you again, I'm sure.
Of course.
Alrighty. See ya. This is the after. Bringing in all the equipment, packing it up.
That will be the game plan number 1.